integrity of the interlinking of river Ganges. So we have to find solutions by which we are in a position to solve this imminent water crisis, serious problem. And we are truly privileged to have you here at this point. I'll just finish off this and take a seat very quickly. The solution irrigation technology which India must now put in place because that's our lifeline.
Good evening, friends. I thank on behalf of all the people of India, my good friend Mr. Karthikeyan, for organizing this event. India International Center has been a platform for promoting new ideas, focusing on some of the most challenging issues. And many times we have seen that ideas generated here reverberates all over. And I hope the same thing happens thanks to his great efforts. And I really wish to congratulate him and thank him because all people of India, I said, because everybody is going to face this crisis one day or the other. And therefore, it's a high time we focus on it. And Mr. Karthikeyan has fought so many social challenges when he was in the government service as a police officer. So I hope that he will have also the strength to fight this problem also. As everybody knows that there is a problem in the water sector. But many times we don't know the magnitude of it. And sometimes we feel it is not my problem because water is a problem, but I can open a tap and I get water, so it's not a problem really. And seldom we realize where the water comes in the tap. Of course, it doesn't matter that many taps go dry many times. But even if you open a tap and you get a water there, where do you get it from? Most of the cities in India today are importing water from long distances. Even Delhi hardly has any of their own water supply. Whatever it had, it uses huge groundwater. And not only in India, but not only in Delhi, but in most part of the country, we are using groundwater for several reasons. Again, when we say we don't know the magnitude of the problem, because many times we focus on an issue. And what is the problem? So when you are shaving, don't keep the tap open. Or it's like saying that when you go out of the room, switch off the light. It is absolutely necessary that we have to, this is like a demand-side management conservation effort. But we must understand that water that is used for agriculture in India is probably as high as 83 to 85%. So whatever other water is being used is only 15%. So therefore, even if we share without water, also is not going to solve the problem. And therefore, not only keeping the tap open, but even if you close the tap all the time and don't share it at all, also the problem will still remain. So therefore, we must look at it in a very big picture, must be clear in our mind. Normally, including the NITI Aayog report, I have not read it, but I am sure they would have done the same way. How do you assess the water scarcity? Normally, you go by per capita availability of water. And per capita availability is done in a very simplistic way. That the amount of water available divided by number of people who want to use it, it's a per capita availability. Even if you go by that only parameter, what has happened since independence is that obviously the water that you get is from precipitation from when it rains you get water. Almost 85% of India's water comes from that source. Maybe less than 10-15% we get it from melting of snow. But both are more or less, sometimes it rains more, sometimes less. The changing pattern of weather thanks to climate change. Obviously the rainfall pattern also changed. So that is the availability part, which also would have remained same or could have gone down a bit. But that's the total quantity of water. But because our population has increased dramatically in the course of last 6 decades, the per capita availability of water has gone down. Even if the same water availability was still there, and the population was still the same, we will not have the water crisis. So water crisis is a function of what is available and how many people want to use it. And that's a per capita basis. But again, that is not really giving a true picture. Because, as I said, if most of the water is used for agriculture, how do you assess per capita availability and decide the availability of water based on that? What is available to human consumption, either for drinking purpose or for other purposes, is something which is residual water, which is available after it is used for agriculture. And therefore, while dealing with this, we have to look at this in a very holistic way and look at it in a very different manner. And again, because I had to go for a very important meeting, I was telling him, and still I came here only because of my great regard for Mr. Karthikeyan. So, rather than expanding this point, I will just say a few things. This solution for water has to come from two ends, or rather both the ends. My great friend Vandana Shiva is here, and she is a great champion for conservation, for biodiversity. Again, I have great regard for her because she has been working very aggressively. And she will recall, we made and I keep quoting this to many occasions, we tried to make a biodiversity law. And when we were making the biodiversity law, the only other country in the world which had passed that law was Costa Rica. And normally, it is easy for somebody who wants to draft a law, go to the Google, find out what law, download it, use part of it, paste it, cut it, and do it. Cut it, paste it, and do it. But we did something different. We had a meeting with Vandana and so many of them, and we actually discussed like this in such a meeting actually, more people than this. And we discussed clause by clause and actually prepared a draft. So she knows this subject better than me. She will tell you more about water, and she has been working on the field for a long time. But I am just saying, agriculture. So what I was saying was two ends, both ends. And I was referring to her from the same reason that many times the solution we seek are only from one side, that is supply side. Whereas demand side management is the most important issue. And the demand side management is not just stopping water tap while shaving. The demand side management has many components as far as water is concerned. And that, let me talk about the demand side first. One of the most important issues, therefore, is how do you use most optimum water for agriculture? How do you decide the cropping pattern, which is based on very scientific study about what is the soil, what kind of crops can be grown there, what is the availability of water, and we should try to do that. Some of the groundwater, amount of groundwater that we are using for agriculture is probably 3 or 4 times of the annual flows of water that the Yangtze River has got, which is one of the mightiest rivers in the world. So you can imagine the amount of water that is groundwater we are using. And the groundwater was there, that's why we did not see the crisis earlier than this. Because it was not as felt, because there was something available. And I give you the example, I will give again. What is groundwater? It is like we are doing something which is available to us. So go to a bank and you tell them that I have an overdraft. So my bank balance is only 100 rupees, but I can still use 500 rupees facility because I have an overdraft. So I think I have enough balance in my bank because I can issue the check, bank honors it. But they will honor it up to a time, they will not do it afterwards. And therefore at such time, what will happen is the same thing going to happen to us because groundwater was available, which was like an additional source of water besides the surface water. But the groundwater also depleting so fast thanks to overuse of it, and aquifers not getting recharged over a period of time because of aquifers also need time to recharge, and therefore it is really now reached a level which is alarmingly low. And that is also because offer some of our public policy issues. We started giving free power for agriculture. When after the second green revolution, we realized that groundwater agriculture has a particular cost. Whereas when you use underground water, obviously the cost is more because you are pumping water out. So you have additional input cost, that is cost related to power. So rather than putting that into the cost mechanism, we said we'll give free power so problem is solved. As a result of which, the water that is drawn from underground is far, far in excess than what otherwise would have been drawn. And some states have now reached a level which is actually beyond redemption. So I think it's a very challenging issue. As a result of which, of course, when you take the groundwater out, and some states are using it for potable water, the arsenic content of it, because you are using a water which was not supposed to be drawn out, the nature had kept it for something else, we don't know. And therefore, when we are doing it, we are actually creating some other problem. But anyway, this is one problem of demand side management, is agriculture use, making more crop out of, we have already used that slogan, for each job, more crop. But I think now we really need to put into reality and try to work on it and focus on sustainable water use. What is sustainable is either groundwater, there is nothing wrong in using groundwater if you are using it only that quantity which is rechargeable and which will come back again into the aquifers. Or try to, so therefore sustainable use of water will be extremely important from that side. Second user of water is also industry, which again now we have to make sure that the laws and everything else is put in place so that everything that is used will be recharged and recycled and therefore it come back to the system. Even for the home consumption and the water use is going to increase because urbanization is happening more and more. See, when you are living in a village, every village had some sort of, barring few villages which are really stressed, we had some sort of a sustainable water supply. And people knew how to use it because they had a traditional wisdom of understanding that this is the water available. Till next May or June when the rain is going to come, I have to use it. So there was a proper traditional understanding and therefore people using it. Because urbanization, people are moving out of villages and now expecting the water to follow them. And that is what is happening exactly. Because most of the major cities, they don't have their own water supply schemes. So therefore they get water from outside. And therefore importing water into the cities is a major issue and that is going to create problems. So now to address the issue, I think we have to make sure that even municipalities, it's an expensive thing but there are no choice but to do it, is make sure that we have three types of water. One for drinking, which has to be of the highest quality. The second one, which touches your body when you take bath, etc. That cannot be as superior, but still because it is touching the body, it should be of some quality. And third one, which is used for toilet, etc., need not be treated at all. So if you say that I am using same water for all three purposes, either you are using best treated water for using it for the toilet, so you are wasting it, or you are using it the other way around. So I think we have to think about making sure that the quality of water, etc., is also addressed into this issue. Of course, it's a major issue, and therefore to make that, we have to find out the municipal corporation will have to be properly equipped to have probably more than one pipeline in each house to get this water, because these are different kind of water for different purposes. And again, every housing colony or society or whatever is a block, they must have these facilities to recycle it, use it in a proper way. We have to think about this very urgently, because rather than better to have some expensive solution, relatively expensive, rather than having no water at all. So I think we really must to think about it. On the supply side, and that's what we are talking about him, he will mention it more. See, the availability of water is, as I said, the nature's, what nature gives you. When it rains, we do not able to save all that water. The storages in India are not one of the lowest in the world in per capita basis. So therefore, per capita availability of water storage in India is probably 1/10 of China or even 1/20 of US. And that is a major issue. So how do you make it? So nature also had provided storage. It is not that storage is a man-invented idea. The lakes are storages, rivers are storages. So that is something which always was there, and we are somehow, some of them have been completely destroyed. For example, in case of Bangalore, if you say that Bangalore had lake city one day, people will say what a nonsense you are talking about. But I remember having gone to Bangalore many years ago as a student in school, and Bangalore was a different city. So all of that natural reservoirs that we had, and why it has happened again, the same reason. Why did it go? Where did it go? Even in Tamil Nadu there were so many things. And there was in fact traditional system in India that every temple used to have a water reservoir. This was the wisdom. Because people realized that if you link it to the god, people will keep it. That was the idea, to keep it as a deterrent. So, why did it go? This again is related to population. When more the people are going into the cities and villages, where are they going to stay? So this is what is really happening. I remember a very interesting story when I was a minister of, and that's how I know Vandana since then. When I was a minister of environment and forest, some people came to me and said, why don't you increase the tiger population? I said, very easy. He said, then why don't you do it? I said, I'll tell you what is easy, how to do it. Every tiger normally marks a territory, as you know. And he sprays around the territory almost 10 square kilometers. So if you want 10,000 tigers, you need 100,000 protected forest areas. If you have 100,000 tigers, you need 1 million acres, 1 million square kilometers of protected area. So if you want more population of tiger, you have to have more forest. So I was telling them, if you want more population of tiger, then have less population of human beings. Automatically will happen the other way around. So what is important is, end of the day, it is all related to the numbers, that natural resources cannot grow only because human population grows. Natural resources will remain in a particular finite way. How to use them has to happen in a properly scientific manner. And that is what we call it sustainable, but that's ultimately, end of the day, that is what it is. And therefore, we must work on both scientific aspects. So I was talking about supply side, and there, when water comes in, and that's the only source is rain, and in some areas like hilly areas, from where she comes, Devbhumi, we get some melting of snow, some water available in that area. Either in eastern Himalayas or in the northeast, the eastern Himalayas, northeast or the western part of Himalayas. But how to store it? And that's an issue. Again, water is a very sensitive national issue. You have some of our rivers are international in nature. So we cannot use water the way we want to use it. There are either treaties or there are conventions which allow the regulation of water. We are an upstream as well as Pakistan is concerned. So the downstream Pakistan has to use the water in a particular way as per agreed with the treaty. As far as we are concerned, it is China from where the water comes in, particularly from Tibet. And that's why we are downstream to that. Bangladesh is downstream to us. I remember one time Bangladesh was complaining to me that floods in India. I said, well, the floods in India will be taken care of if China builds dam. No flood will happen. Water will not come, so the flood will happen. So what is important is that regulation of water in this case is also international in nature. So when we are doing supply side, we have to find out whatever water is available within our geographical sovereign territory, how can we put to use in the best possible manner. And that's why I think Mr. Kamraj, you are not spoken, we will put this solution and we will tell them. So I am saying that this is an issue which needs all kind of solutions from all possible angles. And one of the issues in water is not just water quantity. That is per capita availability or other issues. Other is the quality of water. And that's something which is extremely important. In fact, even China has realized, despite the fact that they have become $8 trillion economy, that quality of water is a major issue in China. And in fact, people are really complaining because the rivers or the common water bodies where the water is available is completely polluted and it is creating huge amount of problem. Again, the problem is, once the groundwater gets contaminated, it is very difficult to treat it and bring it back to the normal. So this is a very important challenging issue. It is like when the saline water is always the case, if the nature has created it, that water meets, all the rivers ultimately meet the sea. At a point where they meet the sea, actually the water will be always, some part of it will be fresh water, sea water sometimes, the other side will be the saline water. But it is always maintained. But if the nature balance is lost, then more saline water comes in and it actually seeps into the groundwater, then actually it's a very, very difficult to get it back. So one of the issues is the quality of water is an extremely important issue, and quality happens because of untreated effluents sent into the system. The way industries also do not treat the effluents and then send it back. Many reasons, including the municipal corporations putting all their waste into the water bodies. So all of this is causing quality. But quality of water is a major important issue. In fact, there is already a scientific evidence that almost 2/3 of the diseases are waterborne. Almost. And 1/3 of the fatalities are on account of waterborne diseases. So it's a very, very serious issue. Water quantity as well as quality. I'm sure this particular event organized by great friend Mr. Karthikeyan will be really an eye-opener, and I think after some time, I am saying eye-opener is that the only water available probably where we will cry only the water that we can see. Therefore it may be really an eye-opener from that point of view. So I hope we work on this.
Your view on thinking of it.
Then I think you like it. I have to go for a meeting. So I will really thank you for giving this great opportunity. As I told him, I have a very important meeting. I cannot even tell you how important it is. But I left it and came back only just to make sure that I honor my commitment of being here. And I really look forward to working with you in future. Thank you very much.